And welcome back to the People's Court. Next case on the docket. The plaintiff left some antique beds with the defendant. The defendant, who apparently owns an antique store that resembles Sanford & Sons. And the plaintiff is claiming the defendant won't give him any of the money. Now, the defendant says the stuff is sitting there still, hasn't been sold, so tough. It's the case of crazy like a fox.
Thank you, Douglas. Okay, Troy Bailey, you are suing Carmen Martone, doing business as Pam Antiques, for $1,820 that you say you are out as a result of their selling something without your permission. Okay, you're counterclaiming against him $1,500 because you say that he contracted with you to buy some furniture and didn't buy it. You tell me your side of the story first.
Myself and Mr. Martone, we entered into a consignment agreement in which I brought 2 sets of twin beds to his shop, and that he was going to sell them with the understanding that he would receive 35% of the proceeds and I would receive 65% of the proceeds.
Okay.
It's a copy of the contract.
Thank you.
And here's some photographs of the beds that were sold. I brought 2 sets to him. He only sold 1 set.
Okay, when you say sets, you brought 2 twin beds? Just...
There are 4 beds total.
Oh, there are 4 beds?
Yes.
Okay.
That's the set that he sold.
That's beautiful. How old are these?
Those were early 1800s.
Wow. How did you come into possession of them?
I purchased them from an antique store in Connecticut.
I'll tell you, I'm not even into antiques, and this is gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. So there were 4 beds total?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, so what happens?
The contract was for an initial 90-day period, and it provided that after the first 90-day period, if I chose to, I can reconsign the furniture. We would negotiate lowering the price or whatever if it didn't sell, something a little more reasonable.
So you signed the first contract when?
On October 26th.
And then, so 3 months later, November, December, January 26th, do you extend the contract?
Yes, prior to January 26th, I returned to his shop. I was going to pick up the furniture, but I'd spoken with his secretary or his manager, the person that actually does the contracts, and I agreed to extend the contract for more than 30 days until March 1st.
Okay, and then what happens?
Well, I returned to his shop March 14th to find out that he had sold that set of beds. And when I confronted him about my portion of the money, he said that I owed him money. And, you know, when I asked him what was he talking about, we do a lot of, myself, my ex-wife, and a friend of mine, we do a lot of consignment shop, antique browsing on Sundays, and we've gone into his place
with your
a couple
ex-wife?
times. Yes, we're good friends.
Okay, go ahead.
And we've gone into
You gotta be if you're going antiquing together. I mean, that's sort of unique. Okay, go ahead.
We've gone into his shop on a number of occasions because, I mean, he does have some, you know, pretty beautiful things in his shop.
Which is why you refer to his shop as a Sanford & Son shop?
Well, you know,
okay,
just
go ahead.
the operation, basically.
They had some fine, Fred had some fine things there. Okay,
Yeah.
go ahead.
But, you know, so we had gone in on a few occasions, and my ex-wife had seen a Victorian parlor set in there that she liked, and my other friend, who's a coworker of mine, she had seen a Victorian sofa frame that she was interested in as well. And his position was that he was keeping my money because they needed to come and buy that stuff. And I pretty much said to him, you know, their interest in that furniture had nothing to do with our contract.
Okay, what happened?
He said to me he wanted to buy this love seat. He brought his friends in, everybody. Mutual agreement, he was buying this.
He was buying it or the friends were?
He was buying it.
Not the friends?
No. So what I did is
So why'd you mention how he brought his friends in?
Yeah, you always had a lady friend and somebody else with him. I don't know who the other girl was.
Okay.
Anyways, he said he wanted to buy this love seat. I said, okay, I'll get it done for you, and I'll give it to you for $300. What's it going to cost me to get it done?
So you should be happy he didn't buy it then?
Yeah.
Except for you're not.
Yeah, I should have been happy, but you know what? He tied me up. I paid the money out of my pocket to get it done. All right? It's out-of-pocket money, so I told him...
To get what done? The refinishing?
Refinish it. Put the wood all back together and refinishing it.
Okay. And wouldn't you have had to do that anyway to sell it to the next person? You still have that, right?
Yeah, I still have it.
Did
No,
you,
I
did you
wasn't.
fill out the paperwork for a sale like you normally do when you have a sale?
No.
Because you have no paperwork to prove it. And he says that you're referring to his friends who said they were going to buy it, the people he was antiquing with. All right. So what happened to the beds that he gave you?
I sold the beds.
All 4 of them or 2 of them?
2 of them.
2 of them. And you sold 2 of them for how much?
$700.
And when did you sell them?
The 7th of February. March.
7th of March. You have the paperwork from the sale?
Yeah.
Can I see it? And you have not paid him that because you feel like he owes you money on the other issue.
Yeah, well, he was buying some other stuff, too. He was buying the 3-piece Victorian set. I got the pictures of all the stuff he was buying.
Let me see.
All the stuff he was buying, and I had other customers on it, and I held it for him.
Okay. But again, you have no paperwork to prove he was buying this, right?
No, ma'am. That's the stuff that he was buying.
So what is your defense to paying him his percentage?
Because I was going to take the $300 and give him the difference. I told him that. He told me I was a crook.
Can I speak
No,
to
can
that?
you, no, can you listen?
Okay.
Okay, because we know you can speak, we just want to know if you can listen.
Yes, ma'am.